We will call the May 14th, 2024 Purchasing Committee together. Carla, if you will call the roll, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner McAdoo. Commissioner Boyd.
Here.
Commissioner Gooch. Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner P.
Here.
Chairman Carr.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Vice Chairman P., have you had an opportunity to review the minutes of the previous meeting of May 2nd, 2024?
Mr. Chairman, I haven't found them in order, and I make a motion for their approval.
We have a motion for approval on the minutes of
Second.
May 2nd. Do we have a second? We have a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes, if you'll say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The minutes stand approved. We have no public comments, so we're going to go straight to item 5. Mr. Clark, if you will come at the table, please, sir, and tell us, when you were with us last, you took under advisement, I think, the EMA RFP for the P25 subscribers or the radios, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and have you come to a conclusion and or a recommendation?
I have, and looking over those, we had 2 bids, which is CI and also NASHCOM. After analyzing along with the consultant Todd Johnson, and I think Mr. Johnson can describe the apples to apples and oranges to oranges, if we'd like to.
So let me ask you a question before we get to that. Hey, so you're ready to make a recommendation?
Yes, sir.
So can you share with the committee your recommendation, and then if they want to pursue with questions, we will do that. Is that okay?
So looking at what we have today, we wanted to look and see, we have been operating on a state contract. It does not look at bulk rates, which we have in the past. However, putting this RFP together to see if there was a competitive bid that we're overlooking for as bulk. What we have found out that both NASHCOM and CI, according to our numbers, is higher than what we have currently on state bid.
So the state bid contract for same equipment is still lower than the responses we received?
Correct.
Okay.
And your recommendation?
Stay with state contract.
Good answer.
I'm like you, Commissioner. Let's hear him say it for the record.
You made a good recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Do we, from the committee, do we have any questions for Mr. Johnson, who is with us via Zoom, or Mr. Clark?
I've got a question. You're talking about the current radios that you're using, getting the exact same radio?
Correct.
Okay, and I assume that for, well, the firefighters, they would be intrinsic, waterproof,
Correct.
all the above. Is that the case for the sheriff's deputies' radios, or are they as?
They're similar, but they have a different style radio. The fire department has a different style radio, and the casing is different for EMS, so we can identify which department that
Well,
is.
it's pretty bulky. The firefighter ones,
Yeah.
I know. Throw that on a utility belt for
Well,
policemen. That's,
We had to make it fireman proof.
I understand very well. But okay, that was my question.
Yes.
Just the style radio. So I'm ready to make a motion on that. That we accept.
Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay.
I move that we accept the director's recommendation.
For state contract.
Yes.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a proper motion and second. Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, if there's no objection, Carla, will you call the roll?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, by the way, you've done an outstanding job
Yes,
in your
sir.
presentation. Thank you.
Name, please, sir.
Outstanding.
Good name, too.
Oh, that's right.
Here we go. You know, you're not Trey Jr. down there, okay?
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Carla, please call the roll before we get in trouble.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner P.
Yes.
Chairman Carr.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, we have new business. Rutherford County Sheriff, if you and your team will come forward, or are you just gonna let Steve do it by himself? Sink or swim, huh? You're just here to rescue him, is that all?
I'll drag him out.
Excellent, Steve, you're on your own, buddy.
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
if I trust those
Solo.
guys. Solo, brother.
Yes.
So you're here about Summit Food Service.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you describe what it is we're trying to do and why we're doing it?
Yes, sir. Summit Food Service has our food service contract for the work center, juvenile detention, the sheriff's office ever since 2022. They require an amendment to be signed each year. This amendment I'm asking for the mayor Carr to sign now is no price increase. Just I want to have it on the minutes that we agreed to sign it and move forward with Summit Food Service.
So specifically, what is the action that you're wanting the purchasing committee to take?
Permission for you to sign the amendment. There's no price increase. It's staying the same.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Spence?
That means no bids, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
How long is that in effect that you can continue at the same price?
We can renew it every year for the next 3 years, and it's
That
yes,
was my,
yes,
thank you.
with reasonable increase if we increase if it comes up in the future. I'll bring it back to the committee for any increase.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So that's a 3-year contract.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When does it begin?
It started February of 2022. Is when we first was awarded.
Okay.
To them.
I'd make a motion that the mayor, do we need a motion?
Yeah, we need a motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have a motion?
He made it.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, if there's no objection, Carla, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Chairman Carr?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Look who drug in here.
I'll scan this and send this to you.
No rush.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman McAdoo
Thank
has
y'all.
graced us with his presence.
How you doing?
We're adjourned.
You sign that and then I'll scan this one.
Mac, you can't sit down there. Why? Because this is your spot up here.
That's too far to walk.
After that long call of
Oh,
it.
no, no, okay.
Thank you.
I signed this one too, right?
Yes. Well, I-
Next on our agenda is the specifications for a Rutherford County Recycling Center, the venerable Adam Dodd, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, sir.
Adam, what are we doing? I think we're opening a bid.
Correct, sir.
Tell us what this is for, please, and why we're doing this.
So the Rutherford County Recycling Center over on 1140 Haley Road was in need of significant repairs. That building is now being utilized, as discussed last month, property management. That building is now being utilized as a recycling center, has been for some time, and we now have full-time county employees in that facility. We had some, what initiated these bid specifications in these renovations was we had some plumbing issues. So we had some employees in the building. We were having problems with the plumbing, so they didn't have proper plumbing. They were using some temporary facilities. The roof, we've repaired and patched on the roof quite often, and it did not have adequate condition space. It did not have HVAC in all of the buildings, so those employees were in there with inadequate plumbing, and it was not a conditioned space. So in the process of making these plumbing repairs, we decided that we would, because of the nature of the repairs, we decided that we would go ahead and inquire on go ahead and fixing the roof, getting some proper HVAC equipment installed to replace the equipment that has failed. And that's what led us to these specifications. I had touched base with Bishop Wagner and the mayor, and their vision for this facility is that Rutherford County, it's a unique location, and it's a unique building, as that Rutherford County offers services to the citizens that are not offered outside of Rutherford County. So when citizens come, they have oil-based paints, they have construction materials, electronics. Those items are taken at this facility. So we wanted to make it more user-friendly to the citizens. We wanted to make it more approachable, and not just for the citizens, but for our employees. And
All right, so that's the description.
This is Haley Road, is it?
yes, sir.
Carla? Ready?
Okay, we
I've got
received
a
a,
question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mind.
Please.
I've heard that we were having continual problems with the electrical power there, and that's why we have one of the compactors that was in up, because I've got complaints about us not taking compactable trash there.
You're
And I
right.
was told by Bishop that there
Yes,
was
that's
an
a correct
electrical problem,
statement.
but I didn't hear you say anything about that.
Yes, sir, Commissioner. You are correct, and I don't want to speak for Bishop, but you are correct. We are looking at a two-phase project here. So we're looking at repairing the building first, and then in the second phase of this is that he's in contact right now with Middle Tennessee Electric for some three-phase service, which is what we do not have there. There's a converter there that Bishop tried to install, a three-phase converter, and that three-phase converter is not holding up.
Yeah, we burn it up essentially.
It's not. Yes, it can't supply. It can't supply the power to Bishop's compactors. It comes and goes. It's not a long-term solution. So he's in conversations right now with Middle Tennessee Electric, and I think their engineers are drawing up like a site modification plan, and we're looking to. I believe we're going to add a compactor, so he will have two compactors.
And so we will need three-phase out there. Is that not correct, Adam?
Correct. So we're waiting on Middle Tennessee to come back. That's why that's not included in this phase. We wanted to go ahead and take care of the employees first. Out of necessity, really. We didn't have a choice on some of these repairs. The employees there needed a conditioned space. They needed proper toiletries and a break room and things of that nature that we weren't providing them. But to answer your question, sir, that's phase two, and we're kind of waiting right now at this point for Middle Tennessee to give us a site modification plan to bring that three-phase in to support two compactors and pour two pads for those compactors. But I think this facility is going to be, when this is done, I'm curious to see what the numbers we kind of have an estimate. I kind of anticipate what this might look like, but you never know, and until you start popping.
The project's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
It's a very straightforward project. We're looking to replace the roof. We're looking to replace the windows and doors so that we can secure the building. We're looking for heating, cooling, fascia, soffit, flashing.
This is the bid, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Todd Hickey from T&K Contracting. So this is, how many bids did we
we
get?
received three.
Three, okay, so
Yes,
this
that
is
was
the first.
one.
Okay.
Let me ask a question before we start looking at the bids. Adam, and this is not really directed at you, but it may be something that maybe you can't even answer, but we're refurbishing a building and bringing it up to today's standards. Long term, what's our vision for recycling, and will this meet expansion and growth and long-term needs, whatever they may be?
We think, in conversations with Bishop, and the mayor, his Bishop's goal is to utilize this renovation, not just for the employees there, but we're going to take a portion of this building and he wants to use it to open it up to the public. So he wants to educate the public on recycling. He wants to educate them on the transfer station. So there's going to be, and this building will be brought up to ADA standards. In the specs, we're going with 3.0 ADA doors. We're going with ADA toilets, ADA sinks. So this building will be compliant ADA standards, so the public can utilize this facility as well. Bishop wants to kind of use it in the future. He wants to incorporate some training into this facility so that he can We can solicit brochures, training materials, educational guides on recycling and the benefits of recycling. He's talking about possibly having some monitors in this area where he could have a classroom space. He could have some footage of what's going on at the new transfer station, just to keep the public involved. So that is some of the future utilization that he's looking to accomplish in addition to just renovating the building.
We have 3 bidders. This is the first. And it's not a complicated bid package. So we got a total of $154,800 by T&K Contractors, Todd Hickey. Adam, I need you to review the accompanying documents to make sure everything is there. The second bidder is Emergency Restoration Services, Justin Edwards. And it looks like Mr. Edwards' bid is $115,050. $115,50.
Okay, so this is just a copy of it. This is the bid spec. This is the bid specifications included here, summarized in this description. So I'm very familiar with this part. So at this point, I just need to make sure that they've included their insurance and
Take your time.
certifications.
He said a second.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
115.50.
And is that the third bidder?
Yeah, so we only got the one copy.
That's the original?
Yes.
That's from First Onsite. Is that right? And this is First Onsite, and their bid is $232,526.18. Chairman Phillips, you can review that and pass it down. It's only sent with one copy.
Yes. And then this is his documents. I've extended it.
Where they from?
I didn't look. I know one of this Hickey is Las Casas and Edwards is
You know what, that's gonna cost.
Murfreesboro. Nashville? On-site's Nashville?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just so the committee is aware, I asked Adam as a precursor because typically on construction bids, we allow Adam or the other director to take it under advisement. And Adam, unless you've changed your mind, you didn't think that would be necessary?
I do not, and the reason why, Commissioners, is because in the bid specifications, I required a site visit prior to the bids being submitted.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yes, sir. So all of these contractors I've already met in person, and all these contractors I've met in person on site. So basically, I either have experience with these contractors, with all these contractors across from separate projects, but they've seen the site, they've seen its current conditions, basically an interview process, if you will. So this was just simply waiting on the numbers. I believe I gave, early on when we first initiated these repairs, we started looking at the roof, we started looking at the HVAC and the plumbing repairs that are in the specs. I kind of had gave the mayor a preliminary number, and these two of these numbers fall within what we were projecting. So now some of these are high, but I kind of knew where these should fall.
So what you're saying is T&K and emergency restoration services fall within generally within your expectations.
They do.
Okay.
The other ones are in excess of it. So, I don't, Mayor, with all due respect, because of what I've just said, I don't need to take this under advisement
Okay.
tonight.
Well, this is your
Yeah.
project, Mr. Dodge, so
Okay.
I guess if you're comfortable with making a recommendation, I'm not gonna speak for the entire committee, but as the chair, I'm willing to entertain your recommendation for consideration by the committee.
Okay. My recommendation, and these are both very, very good contractors, and they have both worked for the county in the past in various projects I just stated. So obviously, this comes down to not any sort of preference, but from a budgetary standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world just to go with the ERS, with the JEC bid. And I feel more than confident that the product that we will get when it's all said and done, everyone will be pleased with the final product.
So your recommendation is ERS?
Yes, the JEC.
JEC, ERS, correct. Thank you.
Is there any need to, if we approve that, to approve it with some contingency that you have the opportunity to thoroughly evaluate these things and make sure that everything is in there that you said is going to be there? Would it be prudent to do it that way?
Well, and Commissioner, what they have done, and both of them, it looks different because of how they incorporated it into their estimates. But this language is I wrote these specs, so
So you know that they're in there?
correct. So I wrote them and I know the pages. I know the number of the pages and the wording, and that's the first thing I looked at. But this one in particular is basically the bid specs, and then with an estimate on each section. But no, I have all. This is not like the mayor said. This is a straightforward project. There's not a lot of bells and whistles here. It's a small project, but I feel really very confident that we will not have any unforeseens here.
There's not any need to utilize our public building authority or anything like that for a project like this?
No, sir.
Okay.
It's quite honestly too
Okay.
small.
Just asking.
Yeah.
These are, if you look at it, Commissioner, this is basically just some minor improvements. We're not really doing. When you get into the structural stuff, that's when we would want to utilize, some sort of an engineering firm, architecture firm, and the PBA for that matter. But this is HVAC replacement, roof replacement, flooring, things of that nature. Nothing structural here.
I move to approve the recommendation of Mr.
Yes,
Dodd for, is it AEC?
JEC.
JEC.
Yes. We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion or questions for Mr. Dodd? Seeing none, if there's no objection, Carla, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Chairman Carr?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Kind of a silly question. Where's this money coming from?
So if you remember when we first started this, Bishop
Yes.
Bishop has some building and site renovation, some funds for his maintenance, for
Correct.
his facilities in his budget under maintenance and repairs. And he wanted to, he has enough funds in his maintenance and repairs to cover these repairs.
The short answer is Bishop's budget.
Yes, yes.
That's all it was.
I have a terrible habit.
I'm sorry?
I have a terrible habit.
Which is?
Just being too detailed.
Oh, you're fine. Adam, you do a splendid job.
I like detail.
No, with us, no, you can't be too detailed, especially when it comes to purchasing things.
You can take that one. Do you want copies of?
I won't need it. They're way too high.
JC's, did you get his documents?
You know I have I'll have a copy of this too. No, that's case.
Yeah.
That's it.
Carl, we have another bid that we got open.
Yes,
This
one
is-
more, guys.
Well, this is an RFQ for janitorial services.
Yes, okay, which on that one was broken into,
Adam, do you want to explain what janitorial services we're doing? Seems
Yes.
like we just did this, but I couldn't say.
it was for a different building.
That's why I felt like we'd just done this, because we have.
So what I think what you did a couple of months back or three, you renewed our contract cannot extend past 3 years. So the contract you looked at a couple 3 months ago was for the judicial center, and so this contract is for our county public buildings. This is all of our county public buildings, and when this took place, you all are very aware of that 2022 budget year when we implemented these services. We decided that we were incapable of hiring and being able to clean and maintain these facilities in house. So we took the direction of contract services. That was a little over 2 years ago. So what we've decided to do is we now feel like this contract, we felt like this contract was maybe too big. We thought that we might be able to have some more competition if we broke the contract down. We started looking at when we started looking at our $399 this year, we started looking at how much money we were spending on servicing these buildings, and we decided that because of the magnitude of this contract and how many buildings were being asked to maintain and the square footage, that we would break this contract down, this one large contract down into 2 contracts, hoping that it would be more competitive from a price standpoint. Because what you do when you have 20-something buildings that you're maintaining, that you're cleaning, and you kind of limit the companies and the contractors that are big enough to take it on. So therefore you have less, I guess, competition is the right word. So I wanted to bring back a competitive edge, and this is in hopes of bringing back a competitive edge from a budget standpoint, hoping that I would get some more competitive numbers. And in the meantime, with the contract being as large as it was, I thought that maybe we might not be getting the level of service that we anticipated throughout all facilities.
How did you break up the buildings real quick?
We did it by logistics.
Okay, so by geographical location?
Yes.
Thank you.
That was first and foremost, because if we can consolidate all of our buildings downtown, then that would reflect in our budget.
It appears that this first bidder, Charles Young and Sons Cleaning LLC, their bid is $25,000 per month.
For list one.
I'm sorry?
For list one. There's 2 separate lists.
That's right, for list 1, thank you.
So this is for contract one.
This is for the building
List one.
essentially downtown, which is
Already
the
at the
courthouse,
top.
the health building, Goldstein.
Okay. So this is that downtown corridor
Yes,
that we're
sir.
just talking about. So that's.
This is number 2 for list 1.
Bid number 2,
For list 1, yes.
and this is,
2 copies?
Huh.
How many copies?
Oh, I got quite a few.
this is R&B Building Maintenance LLC.
This is the current contract holder.
And they're out of Mount Juliet. Young and Sons. I don't see an address. Got one, guaranteed. Trout Trail, Murfreesboro.
Okay, so this is broke down, itemized per building. Only two?
For list 1.
So is there a total 142, 282, or 26, 141 per month?
26, 141 per month,
Yes, as opposed to,
25.
it's correct, thank you. It's on the last page.
You're looking, this contract one, property list one, the downtown corridor consists of
Yeah,
about,
this bid is right here on the front,
26.
right on the front, 25. There, and so the second bid is on the very last page.
26.
Yes, sir, 26, 141,
It's approximately
on a monthly basis.
143,000 square foot
Yeah.
of property that you're maintaining there.
We have one more.
This is for list 2. And there was only one bid.
It's a tough business.
Hmm?
It's a tough business.
The last one that you opened, you said was our current
Yes, sir.
person. Okay, the R&D.
R&B.
Thank you.
This also is R&B. This is the second list. And that, you said that was the only bidder, Carl? We just
Yes.
had one? And it also is on the last page, and it's 109,417 square feet, or $21,258 per month. And it basically includes all of the buildings in Murfreesboro and Smyrna, which is about 8 buildings, 9, looks like 9 buildings.
And I believe the other contract had 6.
I think that is correct.
So Adam, the current contractor is doing all of them.
Correct.
What is the current contract with those two things added together? Do you remember?
Yes, it's right at $600,000
A year.
a year for, and I believe, I believe that if we accomplish anything here, we accomplished no increases.
That appears to be the case.
So, what benefit if they're seeing? If you look at the big picture, now we're looking at a benefit that might carry out for the next 3 years.
Have we had any issues with our current contract?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. And I'll speak, I'll speak openly. Representative is here. Norm B. It was a big undertaking. That's no question. No question, it was a big undertaking for the county to organize this, and it was a big undertaking for one company to take it on. There's a lot of moving parts with this. There are a lot of special requests. What we have found is that we have a lot of the departments within the county that are they want the services done during special hours. So we get special hour requests. Sometimes we get special cleaning requests. So it's a moving target. Lane Ag is a good example. That facility is used as an event center. So every weekend and during the week, you have multiple events going on at either the administrative building at Lane Ag or the farmers market in the back. You have event center here at this facility on the weekends. So it's a moving target. And to answer your question, overall, I think that the relationship and the partnership has been successful. You're in this building, you're in and out of some of these other buildings. Can it be better? Yes. There's always room for improvement. R&B is aware of that, and they have been working recently. They've been working very hard.
So I have a question for you. Are they responsive to you when you offer constructive help on how we can improve?
They have been.
So they're responding to you, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
They are, and that's, I was fixing to answer that question, is that they have recently made some administrative changes that appear from some of the complaints that we were getting within the county, some of the various offices, that they've made some management administrative changes. I think they have brought on another manager recently within the last month to give more oversight to this contract. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I think that's what we were lacking. We were lacking a level of accountability. So I think that moving forward, that issue has been resolved. But honestly, 2 years, you ought to have a pretty good grasp on what you're trying to accomplish. And so this was a twofold thing here. I wanted a competitive edge. I wanted to reevaluate the numbers and make sure that we were not overpaying, and that we could lock these prices in now.
How long is this contract?
We can renew up to 3 years.
Let me just say this, I'm in the courthouse a lot of times late in the evening, and some of y'all are, and I don't have an issue with the janitorial services they supply the courthouse. I can't speak knowledgeably about some of the other buildings, but I can about this one. So.
And you're never going to have, and that's the thing, in public commercial buildings, what I've learned through the last 2 years, and this was, and I'll say it again, it was challenging to go into. We had in-house for all these years. We had our own employees, good employees, but as some up to whom I still talk to this day, but we had a hard time filling those positions for years. We were short-staffed in all of our buildings. We were starting to. It was starting to be where some of the employees were very limited to what they could and could not do, which is, it's.
Adam, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a recommendation on these, or do you need to take them under advisement?
I would like to take them under advisement. They're unlike our last bid spec.
I'll make a motion to take these under advisement.
We have a proper motion.
Second.
We have
Thank
a
you.
proper motion and a proper second. Is there any discussion?
This is probably not a discussion or question, but what was your name again?
Joshua Perone.
The employees that clean up our buildings, where do they live?
What's that?
Your employees that clean up our buildings, where do they live?
Everywhere between Murfreesboro, Antioch, Smyrna, pretty much all around the general area.
But you've got some Murfreesboro people
We have a
cleaning.
lot of Murfreesboro people, yes, sir.
How many employees do you have?
Total in the whole project, I'll say, sorry, I don't have the number.
That's all right, an
Top of my
estimate.
head, about 20 plus,
And would you say the majority of those are residents of Rutherford County?
or Smyrna, oh yeah, so Smyrna.
Rutherford
or
County.
Murfreesboro.
Okay. Any other questions? If seeing none and without objection, take the roll on taking this under advisement.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Chairman Carr?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other business before the committee?
Absolutely.
Seeing none, without objection, we're adjourned.